crude alternative name for these creatures is a biological scourge. They are monstrous, fearsome, and relentless. However, others have differing views, deciding instead to see these horrific beasts as holy creatures, or the true end of evolution, as their purpose appears to be the complete assimilation of biomass in the galaxy to the same genetic outcome. These creatures are, of course, the Necromorphs. The Necromorphs are a terrifying form of biology. They are the main threat that exists within the Dead Space universe. If you could glean it from their name, they are essentially mutated and reanimated dead corpses, with the word necro meaning necrotic or dead, and morph meaning form. The Necromorph's genetic code, or DNA, is what allows for this to occur, with it being able to basically resurrect the tissue of other dead organisms in order to add its tissues into the ever-growing Necromorph biomass. Necromorphs not only can convert human biomass, but it appears they have the ability to convert any alien cells and tissues to its own, with no creature immune to its effects yet known. Necromorphs are driven by very basic principles and never appear to really ever deviate from them. They only wish to survive and grow. Grow in size, grow in numbers, and spread to grow further. They achieve this by procuring corpses of pretty much any organism, even dead, severed tissues. The Necromorph, or its DNA, will infect the creature by making direct contact, and begin to breathe life into the tissues again through some strange and unstudied mutagenic process. The Necromorph's origins is unknown. However, from what we do know so far, we can get a rough idea and begin to theorise about their creation. A Necromorph outbreak occurs when any dead organism spends a prolonged period of time around a device known as a marker. These alien devices contain the genetic instructions to build the Necromorph genome. This occurs within the dead host organism. The marker will begin to emit a strange type of electromagnetic signal from some unknown, deep origin in the dark recesses of the galaxy. As the marker does so, it will begin to affect the host organism, reprogramming its DNA from whatever it was into the Necromorph genome. Not only does this signal affect dead tissue, but it also is able to alter the minds of the living in order to draw them to the markers, all adding to the grand plan of the Necromorph infestation of the galaxy. The signal can go as far to manifest insanity and dementia of intelligent organisms, leading to homicidal and suicidal tendencies within populations. This adding to the necrotic tissues to be transformed into necromorph tissues. As the necrotic tissue begins to mutate and become a fully fledged necromorph, the process is shown to be a horrifying one. At a cellular level, DNA is reconstructed, and on a macro level, the body's tissues, organs, and even bones are violently ripped apart and reshuffled into new, elaborate, and terrifying configurations. What's really scary though is the sheer speed of this. It only takes mere seconds. Because of the rate and the frequency of the chemical reactions that the host body endures, it generally becomes very hot. Enough so that blood begins to boil under the skin, in a process leading to a number of tissues and vascular pathways being torn apart. After enough of these necromorphs have developed, they go about transforming all the biomass in their vicinity, usually an entire planet. They are extremely hostile and will attack on sight any uninfected individuals regardless of circumstance. They cannot be reasoned with and act only according to their basic instinct to infect others and to grow. On top of the markers spreading the infection, the necromorphs are the main way of spreading it after the fact. While the necromorphs hunt other organisms, they attack to kill. They infect and then reanimate the necrotic tissues to join the horde. Once every organism on a world has been transformed into a necromorph, the convergence event will commence. These events result in the necromorphs, and so all the biomass of that planet, being harvested and lifted into the atmosphere by the power of the markers. These events result in all the necromorphs, and so all the biomass of that planet being harvested and lifted by the power of the markers into the upper atmosphere of the planet, where they will proceed to merge their numbers into a single collective biomass that encompasses a massive volume. These necromorphs are now what is known as a Brethren Moon. These Brethren Moons are the epitome of the necromorph horde. A Brethren Moon is named as such due to the sheer scale of this beast, with the biomass approaching the size of a celestial object. With this process now completed, the moon generally goes dormant, proceeding to produce more markers from itself and ejecting them into space in all directions, in order to spread the necromorph infection to even more of the galaxy, and begin the process anew. Theories for how the necromorphs begun are wide and varied. Some believe they may have naturally evolved, others believe they are a weapon, and others some kind of Lovecraftian god. But as we have not seen any type of backstory for these creatures yet, their origins remain unknown. The necromorphs are very hard to kill. They possess the ability to form into many different, dangerous and violent shapes in order to attack their victims with fatal intentions. They are incredibly resistant to damage and can be very hard to deal with. When a necromorph forms from a host organism, it is able to make itself much more physically powerful than the host otherwise would have been. By ditching unnecessary things like the digestive and reproductive systems, as well as many other organs, they can transform this biomass into more important tissues, such as muscles and bones, to make them stronger and more reinforced. The best means of defeating necromorphs is dismemberment. By severing necromorph's brain tissue from the rest of the mass, you stop the creature from effectively controlling its vessel. However, the head or brain tissue region of the necromorph can be hard to pin down, as the brain can morph and change location, so complete dismemberment of the entire mass is suggested for maximum killing efficiency. Blood loss is also a way to kill at least a human spawn necromorph. It appears if it loses a substantial amount of blood, the mass can no longer function and will again die. You can achieve maximum blood loss in a few ways. While you could attempt to aim for the head and torso, that's likely an ineffective solution, and I'll tell you why. Necromorphs are able to be mobile via their limb appendages, and they increase their mobility by flooding blood to that particular limb. So, attacking or completely severing that blood-filled limb is the best way to induce the highest level of blood loss. In order to prevent necromorphs using corpses from other creatures or dead necromorphs, the necromorph tissue that has been previously defeated or severed or damaged, I would suggest incineration. By completely destroying the area's necrotic tissue, you help prevent new necromorphs from being able to gestate. Fire is also a valuable tool to use on living necromorphs. If they sustain enough damage, that is an efficient way to kill them. Whilst dismemberment is very effective against them, not all necromorphs are created equally, and so you would be wise to remember that some types of necromorphs have the ability to regenerate and retake shape after being severely damaged. And so again, I stress the importance of incineration. Something interesting to note is that a necromorph can only transform dead biological materials, and if the host is alive, then this process cannot occur. It's not really known why this is, however I would speculate it has something more to do with the mental control the host has over its body and cells, as the consciousness seems to have more importance in the marker's eyes, and the necromorph's ability to manipulate the body, control and transform you. However, the living does not escape unscathed. if a living organism is infected with necromorph tissues, then the result can be paralysis, catatonia, as well as respiratory and circulation problems. All of these symptoms seem to be attempting to make the host extremely weak, so that when a necromorph does find it, it will be easier to kill and transform. In addition, you may also be able to survive on a world under necromorph outbreak if you submit to the will of the markers. There is evidence to show that those who worship the marker and perform its wishes are generally the very last of those to be converted. It won't save you outright, but it will buy you some time. Necromorphs possess the ability to survive in some of the deadliest places in the universe, such as the vacuum of space, and have actually seen to thrive in toxic environments, even going as far to have the ability to terraform the environments they are in. This is both to increase their comfortability in their environment and to lead to further prey being weakened and poisoned by the air around them, causing sickness and death that the necromorphs can then capitalize on. If a necromorph convergence event is halted, the outbreak is generally far from over. The creatures will likely then find some way to hide or hibernate until they can again find usable flesh to continue the outbreak. As seen on Teo Volantis, the convergence event was stopped in place by an ancient civilization that was living there. These aliens actually froze over the planet in order to stop the spread of the infection, sacrificing themselves in the process. However, these necromorphs were not killed and simply lay dormant until someone or something could reboot the process and make them whole. Necromorphs do not appear to have the traditional sensory organs that humans possess, and instead rely on neural detection organs that are able to see anything that has brain activity and target it. While this may be their primary way of detecting living organisms, they must also have the ability to sense the world around them in some other ways, as they can be drawn to other stimulus. It's likely they possess a sense of smell, allowing them to locate dead flesh. However, it's not known if they have traditional sight, as many variants have sockets but no eyes to be seen. It is also likely that they are able to hear, as some necromorphs will deliberately create noise in the presence of potential hosts in order to draw their brethrens. But that's part 1 of the Necromorph Species series video. In this video I covered the general information for the Necromorphs. We talked about their origin, their purpose, their biological traits, and their vulnerabilities and advantages. In next episode, we will talk about the types of necromorphs that can exist and how each one will effectively lead to a convergence event. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification if you never want to miss out on another upload from Project Archivist. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a channel member through the join button on the channel homepage. There is also a link in the description. And with that, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Before I go, I just wanted to let you guys know about the merch store called Acheron's Colonial Marketplace. Here you can pick up a variety of Acheron and alien themed merch from 3 distinct product lines, including shirts, hoodies, mugs, blankets, stickers, bags, and even phone cases. So if you want to support the channel and look good doing it, pick up some Acheron merch. But what other videos would you guys like to see? If you have any ideas or have any questions you would like answered, please meet me down in the comments. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and go check out Project Acheron on Twitter and Discord. If you want to support me further, you can become a patron where you can get access to early and behind the scenes content, the monthly and Alien Day giveaways, as well as the patron-only engraved set of items. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Until then, this is Project Acheron, signing off.